Hello everyone, this is Ben from GP Adventures and the Hobby Shop Dungeon, and I'm here today to answer some questions from the backers of the Marmoreal Tomb project. And today, Kevin Birch has been asking a question about uh, the old school feel of the project, namely how we get inspired and how we work out not just the design or the gameplay of the module, but the presentation thereof, uh, and work out this all could feel into the project, right? Um, well, as far as an old school feel uh, is concerned, it starts with the original game. So you're gonna look back at the original and advanced game uh, as a sort of yardstick for aesthetics, right? Roughly from like 1974 to 1983 or thereabouts. Like the I guess what you could call the Gary Gygax era of the game. And this is how we work out exactly what works, what how things look, how they should feel. For instance, when you look at the modules of the era, you look at Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, you look at the Giants series, or up to like the Temple of Elemental Levy and that kind of thing. You'll notice that the layout itself is very sober, right? It's not loaded with pretty things on the sides and parchment background and all these sort of things, right? Part of the reason being like the capabilities, the technical capabilities of the time weren't there to do these kind of things. But also, I think that today, for gamers today, some gamers at least, it is still helpful in the way that you don't have a lot of things to detract from the matter of the module itself, right? So I think from this standpoint, we're gonna keep this kind of layout clean, right? Which doesn't mean that it can't be pretty in some way, but we're not going for something looking like Pathfinder, say, right? Which is a completely different feel from that standpoint. Now, as far as the art is concerned, from the very start with Arnie, we decided that we wanted the project to feel very personal, as if it was built by one DM for another DM. Like a bunch of campaign notes that you basically would have taken an excruciating amount of time putting together and describing and drawing yourself, and then you hand this over to another DM and say, "These are my notes. Now you run your game, your way," right? And that was basically the guiding idea here. So we just went with that and started. Well, naturally, that meant the maps were going to be hand drawn, right? Uh, the art was going to be all pencil, where you could see the strokes of pencils to build a picture, right? So that you could get drawn in the picture as if you had drawn it yourself. You see what I mean? Like if you had the skills and stuff, you could have put it, together yourself. And so, for instance, like we had the chance for the interior to find Mark Allen, which is a who is a fantastic artist and very skilled and very passionate about his craft in a way that he wants to be involved in it, you know. And for that kind of project, you actually don't want artists that are just the pen for your creation, right? You don't want just skilled workers. You want partners in the artistic development of the thing. So you want the artist's input into your vision, right? And Mark was totally on board with that. He was really he has this mind that works with the creation, proposes things, works out things, and it just gives a feel to the art that wouldn't be there otherwise, right? Um, for instance, I have an example here I can show you. Um, this is one of the original illustrations for the Marmoreal Tomb, right? This is the battle between the stone giants and the dwarves of the Marmoreal Tomb. This is basically the event that will decimate the settlement of the dwarves on level 1 of the tomb. And this is here Crassus the Cambion, right? Now, you can see this is very finely drawn. I can see, yeah, maybe you can see the shine of it, because this is all pencil, right? This has been drawn with excruciating patience, right? And that has this feel that, oh, this has this feel of yeah, being made by a gamer for gamers, right? And when you look at this, or when I look at this personally, I can be drawn into it. Like it's not something that exists in somebody else's mind. My mind gets involved with the pencil, right? And that plays on my imagination, and I become part of this world. And that's part of the idea here. So Mark Allen has been doing a fantastic amount of work, and for the project, some previews of which I've posted on the Kickstarter page and on the Hobby Shop Dungeon Facebook group. Right now, he's doing some other things. We might have to finish the project with another artist from that standpoint, but for specifically for the expansions, the wilderness and the underworld expansion. But I mean, Mark Allen is a fantastic artist. And a friend. He's a fantastic guy. I thank him from the bottom of my heart. We have another fantastic guy, Eric Chaussin, who's been doing some awesome maps, like the actual miniatures maps, right? Well, he also works on the paper miniatures for the project, right? And this is also an original. These are some of his first drawings for the ogre of level 1 of the Marmoreal Tomb, and the goblins, and the pieces. So you can make variations of them for the miniatures, right? And then put them together in a PDF. And yeah, Eric has been doing some amazing work on the project. What you might see, by the way, about his maps are digital, right? Like digitally colored and textured. But all the groundwork on the map was on-drawn. Everything was on-drawn as well. And it's an amazing amount of work. And he's been injecting his own creativity into it and working from our maps with Arnie with like patience and fine-tuning and reworking the whole map if he thought he could do better. This is the kind of thing that he was on board with the idea that the project had to be, really the special thing for gamers, right? And that's fantastic. So Eric, you're an awesome guy too. As far as the covers of the project are concerned, right? The same way. So we went back to the original game, advanced game, right? The natural name that came to mind, I mean, short of Trump here, I mean, Jeff Easley has always been the face of this late, like 1983 kind of period, right? Which is just the period that, like in a theoretical world, GP would come in and add some things to the game at that point, right? In a kind of abstract way. So it seemed totally warranted to have a cover with Jeff Easley, right? To work with Jeff Easley on something that would make the Marmoreal Tomb uh, be able to sit next to your advanced D&D books and feel like they belong to with one another. Like it's part of a continuation. It's not like an exact copy of the thread dress or anything like that. But spiritually, these are in the same type of fantasy, right? And vibe. And so yeah, we were very fortunate. Like Jeff Easley was an awesome guy to work with, and he's very gracious and yeah, very. And his art is just amazing, right? Um, and also Val Mayorik. Ernest had decided at some point to go for the extra covers for the expansions, the Wilderness and Underwater expansion, with one of the old timers that did the Conan comics, right? Uh, I think he went through a whole list of artists of the time period, and Val Mayorik answered to us, right? And Val Mayorik, that's the guy who worked on the Swamp Thing, was the co-creator of Howard the Duck, uh, and worked on the Conan comics. And Val was also awesome to work with, and a very easy guy, very cool guy. And his work, I think, speaks for itself when you see the covers of uh, of the expansions. They just stand next to Jeff Easley's cover, and yeah, that's really a unit of three, right? And that's great as well. The last part of the feel of the module that I wanted to talk about is the maps, right? And why hand-drawn? Somebody asked that as well. Well, the reason is exactly the same reason I was talking about the illustration I showed you of Mark Allen and the Giants, right? Um, a map that is hand drawn to me as this personal feel, this slight imperfection that draws you in the world. One of the primary reasons for maps to exist in a role playing game, aside from just like locating point element A as it relates to element B in space, is to draw you in the fantasy world. It's to help the DM on the DM side of the screen see the space, visualize it, and describe it to the players, right? And from that standpoint, I think hand drawn maps beat everything. Uh, because I mean, a digital map can be absolutely gorgeous and everything. I mean, I have friends who are cartographers who are doing digital maps, who are fantastic artists at their own. To my sensibility, I'll go with hand drawn every time. This is just the way my imagination works best, right? And I like to feel involved in the world, the fantasy world, so I can make it mine and recreate it at the game table. And the hand drawn feel comes there. It also helps for me as a creator, as a designer, as it were, because when I draw the map by hand and I go through all this detail, the same way that would work for a DM later looking at the map, I get to see and visualize what I'm drawing as I'm drawing it. So then I am able to recreate that from a texture, from a writing point of view. I can see the space and describe it. Uh, so that's how it comes together in that sense. The old school feel. I mean, everybody has a definition of old school, right? And that's part of what makes old school actually. In that, to me, old school is really about personal expression through the game. It's about uh, not playing the modules that people have written for you, but making the module your own and letting the world be the story of the game. And that's the way I envision it. And the whole hand-drawn aspect, sober yet fine. The form mixes with the design and creates a thing that comes in contact with the DM and then the players of the game and creates the actual subject, the finished product, which is the game itself. The module is not the finished product. The game you play is the finished product. And that's my aim as a designer. And that's about it. I think I answered the question. Let me know if you have further questions, in the comments and stuff. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.